Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace, and today is Monday, August 16th, I believe. Yes, I was right. It's thunderstorming. We love it! This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, but most importantly knitting, because that is what I love to do all day, every day. I have all the various social medias. If you like to follow me on any of those places, I have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram. Please go follow me over on there if you are interested. I also will have show notes, so links to things that I will be talking about will be on my blog. If I remember to include everything, because sometimes I forget. So if you're on YouTube, the link to my blog will be down below, or if you're on my blog already, everything is already there. I'm in a different spot because it's very dark outside. Because I don't know if you can hear the thunder, but there's a thunderstorm coming. So I literally, like, the place where I normally sit is right behind you, back a ways. But it's just too dark in that little corner, so we changed things up. You know, we love a good scenery change. Very important. I apologize for any glare that may come in my glasses, because that is also a thing. Like that. But we do our best. I also work at a yarn shop. It is called Pearly Girls. It is in Spring, Texas, or just right outside of Old Town Spring. If you'd like to come check us out in person, that would be awesome if you're local or visiting. But I will leave all the stuff, social media, website, all that jazz, the various places. There's a siren going by, we shall wait. So, we have things to discuss. You know, we've got things to discuss. New and old and somewhat finished items, all fun things. So let's just go ahead and get into it, because I don't really have anything else to say. If you like to grab something tasty to drink, something to snack upon, something to craft upon, animal to snuggle, laundry to fold, all my laundry is folded and it's up there, so I am ahead of the game. That being said, looking at the clock up on the wall, that being said, I'm recording much later than I normally do, so am I really ahead of the game? Whatever the game is, the game of life, the game of my to-do list. Because that's a thing. I don't even know. What are we talking about? Would you like to go grab any of those things? Maybe it's storming where you are. I'm loving this thunder. It's quite a mood. It's very stormy. Unfortunately, it is very hot outside. So we do not have those autumnal rainstorms yet, when it is cooler, when it rains, and it is beautiful. Man, this thunder is just really gorgeous. I just love it so much. Anyway, if you like to grab any of those things, none of those things, whatever brings you joy, and you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. I'm just waiting for it to start raining, and I think it'll be really loud then, but you know, we do what we gotta do. You know, I apologize for looking up, like, off to the distance, like I'm pondering the meaning of life, but I like looking out the window because I can see the dark clouds and I really like it. And then over there is the clock. I don't know why I keep looking at the clock, but I do. In case you were curious what I was looking at. You gotta know all these little details, behind the scenes details, you know. So first off, we're just gonna jump right in, because I don't really know what else to say. Be a little off my game today for some reason, but that's okay. Again, you just do what you gotta do. It's okay. So bear with me, I apologize. In advance, things seem kind of weird. Or, I don't even know. So, this past weekend, Sam and I went to Tyler, Texas to celebrate the life of his grandmother, which was both sad and wonderful that we could celebrate her in that way, and just get to see family, all that jazz. But because of that, I got a lot of knitting done, which is really great. It did get to a point, especially on the car ride home, where I was just too tired and I was not wanting to knit. I hear the rain. It's coming. It's gonna get loud. Anyway, so I mainly worked, I did bring 3 projects with me. And I brought 2 test knits and then 1 personal knit. And I think I worked at least a little bit on everything. One thing I didn't work quite as much on, but that's okay because it was a bigger thing. And it's one of the ones that's got the massive balls of yarn, and I can't really carry that around with me very easily. So it did not get as much progress or love, but I did work on this one. This is the Wild Joy pullover. I have set this up too close to the back of the bed. I'm sorry you can't really see this whole thing, but we're gonna do our best. So yes, this is the Wild Joy pullover by Samantha Gurin. I am test knitting this for her. This is a colorwork, obviously yoked sweater. It is worsted weight. It is very warm. It is not weather appropriate for Texas right now. Probably won't be for a couple months, but that's okay. When it is, I will be very prepared. Or if I go visit my parents, where they live in Colorado, I will be ready. But I did finish my first sleeve, and I did finish the body, and I love it. I just can't even with the fit. Just so good. So good. So I have 1 sleeve left, and the neckline, the ribbing, collar, whatever. Hopefully you know what I mean. I said I was off my game. Although we won't count that. Like one example is not really, wow, those clouds are very dark. What is the temperature? Shall we look at the temperature? I have a very, it is very hot outside. Eek. I have a strong tendency, fun fact here, this is a very like random fact about me. If there is a storm, any kind of storm that's relatively intense, especially if it involves thunder and lightning in the summertime, I will kind of monitor the temperature, because I know that the temperature and then the storm is a good indication of whether or not tornadoes can form. And if you're new to the podcast, I am terrified of tornadoes, and have been terrified of tornadoes pretty much my entire life. That was a lot of lightning. And so when stuff like this happens, though I love these storms, I'm also pretty anxious. And I'm constantly checking the temperature. So it is very warm right now. But we will ignore that fact. It will be fine. It will be fine. Let's get back to talking about some knitting, shall we? So, yes, I didn't bring my big ball of yarn in, but this main color is, I did add quite a bit of decreases in my arm, in my sleeve, to get the shape that I really like, and I like this longer ribbing. It looks really nice. I thought about making it longer and doing a thumb hole. I decided that I was not wanting to put in the time, so I didn't. And honestly, it looks much better that way. I think it would have looked a little, not wonky, but I don't think it would have been the look that I was going for. So the gray that I've used for my main color is from Michaels. It is Loops and Threads Endless Impeccable, or Impeccable Endless Impeccable. Impeccable Endless. I don't remember. It's those two words. I don't remember the order of those words, but it's those two words. And this will be the second sweater that I have gotten out of this big ball of yarn. Within it, I had almost 2,000 yards, and I got it on sale from Michael's forever ago, and it has served me very well, and I am looking forward to probably the third and final sweater that I get out of this ball of yarn. Whatever that may be, whenever that may happen, I don't know. But it will not take up much to do the next sleeve and do the ribbing. But yeah, I'm very, very happy with how this has turned out. It is slightly croppied. I love it so much. I went stash busting for this. I'm not sure what this dark gray is. But I do know this light pink, which you can see here and here, is a Malabrigo of some sort, and then this maroon is Brooklyn Tweed Loft held double. I am so happy with how this turned out. Like, I am so happy with how this turned out. And it's just really squishy, and I love how this yarn knits up, this gray yarn. Like, say what you will about acrylic yarn, but there it is just, it's just so good. So good. The acrylic yarn world has come a long way, and it's just quite nice. I would recommend you trying it if you've never tried it before. There are lots of options out there, and I think you would be very pleasantly surprised. So I'm very excited about that. That is very close to being done, obviously, so hopefully I won't procrastinate too long and get that second sleeve finished. Our deadline is pretty far away, so I'm not like scrambling to get it done or anything. The other test knit that I have done, actually two, we'll just talk about the two. So the one that I mentioned last week is now out. It is Sunday Fun Day by Jill, or Knitterella on Instagram, and I believe Ravelry. So that is a v-neck boxy sweater with some stripes. It's so cute, like we can't even. It is just so good. And then the Wild Poppy pullover by Tiff of Tiff Nealon Designs, that is also coming out soon. I think the tester's deadline is sometime this week, and I don't remember when, and I need to get it blocked so I can take pictures of it. When it is fully published, I am not certain, but I know that time is coming, so keep your eyes out for that, because that is another really good, fast, cute color work, stash bustery sweater. So, would highly recommend. So next up in the test knitting world, this will be my last and final test knit for 2021. I know that I say that, and part of me doubts myself, and other people have also questioned whether I'm going to keep my promise, and I completely understand that, and also think it's hilarious that other people do not expect me to keep this promise to myself of stopping after this is done. But I would like to tell you, I would like to say that since making this decision, which it's been a couple months, since I made that decision, or maybe not a couple months, at least a month, if not a month and a half. Since making that decision, I have seen so many cute things, so many cute test knits, so many possibilities, sample knitting opportunities, and I have said no. Even though I really wanted to say yes, I said no, because I made this promise to myself to take a break. So I feel pretty good about it so far. I mean, I feel like I've held firm. For sure, I can guarantee And also just saying that I guarantee, because it just makes me feel uncomfortable, because I feel like this is a very binding promise, even though it's not, because it's literally doesn't matter. But if I test knit in anything for the rest of the year, they will be small items. They will not be big items. I have knit so many sweaters this year. If I knit more sweaters, which I definitely will, they will not be test knits. Will I test knit a hat? I don't know. Will I test knit a cowl? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not, because like I said, I was going to take a break. But for whatever reason, if I decide in the moment, very spontaneously, to test knit something, it will be small. It will not be big. No. We've had so many big projects that have very tight deadlines. Just hit myself in the glasses. And also big projects without tight deadlines. And that is really wonderful, but it's still also things that need to get done. And though I love it, like I say every week, it is time to take a break for the rest of the year. Come January, I don't know what will happen. I have no idea. I don't know, but I am only a few sweaters shy of this. Well, how am I going to say this? I don't remember numbers, which makes things complicated. So I knit a certain amount of sweaters last year. I don't remember what I was talking about. I think I was talking about test knitting. I looked down at my phone and realized that Sam had called me, which, given the weather, it was a concern, so we needed to call and make sure that everything is fine. Everything's fine. It's just really, really bad. So, yay for storms. But he'll be fine. He is a competent driver. Anyway, that has nothing to do with test knitting. So yes, taking a break of test knitting after this is done. It will happen unless it's small. What is my last test knitting project, you may ask, and I will tell you. It is this Jensen cardigan by Rachel of September Knits, and I'm loving it, and I'm pretty sure I did make some amount of progress. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure. So not a ton. Definitely not a ton, but some. It's very hard to see. There we go. Oh, that doesn't really, oh, you can kind of see it better there. This is my cinnamon roll progress keeper from Little Bitty Delights that I love very dearly. This is just a basic, snuggly, long or short or cropped cardigan that's got a V-neck. It's got a wide collar. It can have a shawl collar. There will be pockets. You don't have to have pockets. I may add thumb holes on this one because I do think that is a good idea. But I said that about the other one, so we'll see how I'm feeling in the moment. You know what? It may ultimately boil down to, do I want to put in the time to add these thumb holes, or am I just being lazy? And it's not even that I'm being lazy. It's just that I don't want it bad enough to put in the extra work. Right? Right. So I'm using both a new to me yarn and an old to me yarn, and we are getting so many weather alerts on my phone right now. This is a fun time. This is what it looks like. Heavy rain and strong thunderstorms for a while. But it's dumb because then the radar, I know you can't see this, but the radar never then loads, and so you can't see what the radar is doing if you're someone like me who just like obsessively watches the radar and the weather, especially when it storms and your husband is driving home. Why are we upset? I don't even know. The app is not working. That's why it's annoying. Anyway, so this is a new to me yarn. This is a very deformed ball of yarn. It looked much nicer, but I had to put it in a bag. We're gonna reform it. I had to put it in a bag and it got smushed. And this is Mega Ball We Heart yarn from Hobby. And this is the powder blush color, and we love it dearly. And I'm holding it with Diablo, which I have knit with before. And I don't remember what color this is, but I could give you the number. So I'm holding these two together. I love them dearly. This is what I have so far. I would really love to potentially, perfect world, maybe get to divide for the sleeves by next week. I have no idea. We will see. We will see. I don't know. It really just depends. It really just depends. But I do need to continue to work on this, especially since this only has one sleeve left. And once that is done, and I only have one test knit on my needles, what? It's been a while since that has happened. Here comes the rain. It is hitting the window. I can see it. Once I only have one test knit on my needles, I think it will just go quickly. This is living in my coffee knit slip sleep repeat bag that I love dearly. And yes, in fact, this big ball of yarn does fit in that bag, just barely, and I do have to squish it. But that was why this one didn't get worked on as much, is because obviously I can't really carry around this very easily, and it's not very like discreet to pull yarn from it unless I was pulling from the middle, which I'm not, because I don't particularly like to pull from the middle from these types of balls of yarn, because it is just gonna be yarn barf everywhere, the ultimate yarn barf, and then make a big mess, literally. So I'm pulling from the outside. That's what I like to do with these balls of yarn. Normally I'm a center pull person all day every day, but couldn't do that. It was very challenging, not a discrete project, so this one did not get worked on as much. And also because this deadline is much farther out than this one, I thought it was a priority to work on this in the car. So, and actually I think I finished, officially cast off once we got home late Saturday. Maybe even Sunday. No, I think it was Saturday. I don't remember. Here comes the rain. It's raining pretty hard. I apologize. This is a very weather-heavy podcast episode. If you're new here, I love talking about the weather. Whether it's storming, whether it's hot, whether we're going through a very intense freeze and snowstorm, which doesn't happen in Houston. So, the nice thing about this is that if the power goes out, I can still record because it's not like it's plugged into anything. So, we will continue forward. Like I said, Rachel, September knits, Jensen cardigan, fun stuff. Love this yarn. I'm very happy with how this is knitting up. We're now going to put it back in the bag. It is a process to put it back in the bag. There we go. So yeah, it does fit. I happen to have, this is very random, I happen to have an odd collection. I'm sure a lot of knitters and crafters do, and other non-crafty people, they're like general book bags, general tote bags. I have so many of these that have fun things on them that I have collected over the years and just don't use, and I found a bunch of them recently, and so now I'm trying to use them as much as I can because I think they're fun. And I know I can also use them for things like groceries and shopping bags and all that kind of stuff, but I have a lot of knitting projects. So, what did I also work on this weekend, or this past weekend? I also worked on my hot oatmeal shawl by Sweater Freak. And I have gotten my groove back on this, everyone. If you have not heard me talk about this before, I cast this on about a year ago. Because I cast this on when we went to, before my parents moved to, before they knew they were moving to Colorado, back in August. This was my travel project, and there was something about this very simple lace that I could not get, and it was very confusing to me, and if you look closely, it is very messy. Until this past weekend when I started working on it, and I was like, why? You just do it. I didn't even get any confusion. There was no problem. I don't know what my problem was when I first started it, but I think I was just not, it was not clicking with my brain, and it has now, and we're all good. We are all good. This yarn, which I love dearly, the nice thing about sitting here is that we have this wonderful lighting, so we do have very accurate colors. We just don't have a fun background. We have a bedspread, a wrinkly bedspread, an Astro's blanket with fringe, and then a big pile of laundry that you cannot see. But anyway, this is Amethyst Storm by, I don't remember. Forest Fiber Arts. I want to guess. Will we look it up? We'll look it up. Yeah, we understand the weather is very severe right now. Forest, yes. Yes? Can I see your logo? Do any of your... Yes, haha, I was right. Forest Fiber Arts. Look at me go. She's got beautiful yarn, and she's also from Texas. Fun fact, her name is Nikki. Would highly recommend her yarn. So, go check out her stuff. It is beautiful. I love this colorway so much. I feel like it encapsulates, I know that's the right word. I just don't know if I'm saying it correctly. It embodies, there we go. We'll use that one instead. It embodies a lot of like different ways amethysts can look. And amethysts are special to me for multiple reasons. It's also my birthstone. I love purple. So this is a very cool picture. We're going to use this as our thumbnail. Fun fact, here we go. And yeah, I just really, I like it. It's really, really pretty, and I love the depth to these colors. And I think it's knitting up very beautifully in this shawl. I am a little confused by this pattern, mainly in the size of this pattern, because it tells you to do so many repeats and then you're done. But by the way that I understand it, which granted could be very wrong, because we know the problems I've had with this pattern, the struggles that I've had, and I just completely lost my train of thought. Oh, the size of the pattern. I apologize. So it says to do it the whole repeat a certain amount of times and then you're done. And to me, that certain amount of times, though I haven't gotten there yet, seems very small compared to the picture. So I don't know if that's me or if that is the pattern or what. I mean, it's still a very well written pattern. It's very very straightforward. But I want to use as much yarn as I can that I have, because I have 2 skeins of this, and this is my first one. So I'm just probably gonna keep on repeating whatever I have until I feel like it's big enough. So that's my plan, but I don't know, we'll see. I know I really just need to look at the pattern a little bit more clearly, because obviously, like I said before, when I started this a year ago, I was not really understanding what all was going on, which is okay. You know, that's normal. It's perfectly fine, and again, normal for people to it just not click at the beginning or at all. That's okay. It happens to everyone, regardless of knitting ability. And it was just not, that was not my case when I first started a year ago, and it is now. I now understand it much more. I can memorize it. That was my problem. I couldn't memorize it, and I needed to be able to pick it up and put it down easily, and then know where I was, and I just had no idea. But I do now, so that's all that matters. So that's good. I worked on that. I do also have, I did mark my progress with this little guy, which is another one of my favorites from Little Bitty Delights. It is a coffee cup with this sparkle donut. I love it dearly, and we're going to move it now so I don't forget. Can you hear the rain? It's raining. So yeah, I'm very happy with how that turned out, or how that is turning out. I'm just gonna keep on keeping on. Keep on and keep knitting, you know. Next up, I'm going to share with you my new cast on. That is not a test knit, and is a knit along with my mom. That was a beautiful song. Can we? Oh my goodness. I don't know what to say. I love to sing, okay? I will sing anything and everything. Whether it's sound effects, whether it's words, whether it's talking to someone. I've smashed this ball of yarn quite a bit. And it looks like, I'm just afraid that it's gonna tangle. I know it won't. It'll be fine. That was very funny. I hope you thought it was funny too. If you didn't, I'm sorry. Anyway, so I am knitting a wonderful, very oversized woolly pullover jumper. It's called the Diamond Jumper by Anne. I can't remember. I know it starts with a V. Vinsel. Vinsel. Yeah, I think that's it. Vinsel. It is this is her picture on her Instagram. Look at that turtleneck. Can we even? It's so oversized and just so gorgeous. Again, won't be available to wear for the next couple months, even though we're halfway through August at this point, because it's Houston. But when it is cold or I go and visit my parents, I will be very snuggly. I've cast on. And I know you're probably thinking this is a very small neckline, and I would tell you it'll be okay. It's supposed to be tight. I mean, not tight, but it's supposed to be not like a big open cowl neck. Also, it will grow with blocking, and I know it will be fine. So yes, you start up here, and then you increase, and just go to town. And I'm very excited. I am, I don't know. I was a little confused by the pattern. I know, and it is purely just because I was not wanting to take the time to fully understand it in the moment, because I was watching a K-drama and I needed to pay attention so I could read the subtitles, and I was like, I don't need to know this right now. I don't need to understand how these charts work. All I need to know is how many stitches I need to cast on. And how long do I knit this neck for? I will eventually figure it out. I know it'll be fine. So this is all I have so far. I do this for a quite a bit of length. And everyone, I am doing the ultimate twisted rib, which to me is where you knit through the back loop and you purl through the back loop. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because this neckline, this turtleneck, will be folded over, and I don't want to fold it over and then have this very like open, potentially sloppy looking purl side on the outside of my sweater. So I am taking the extra time, though it is painful. I do not like purling through the back loop. It takes so much longer. I can't get in a rhythm. First world knitting problems, am I right? So it looks the same on both sides. That was a bad way to show you, but this is the one side. This is the other side. Looks the same. So when I flip it over, like that, it will look nice. What is my yarn, you may ask? And I would tell you I'm using another, we just love these big balls of yarn, you know, it's just, if it's the bigger, the better, the bigger than the head, the better. Granted, this is not bigger than my head, but is it wider than my head? Maybe it's wider than my head. It's not bigger lengthwise than my head, but it may be wider than my face. Anyway, this is Cascade Eco Wool. This is not the plus. This is the natural colorway. And do I have a number or do I have a name? I have a number. I know there is a name. I think it's like taupe. But the color number is 8061. We love a good Cascade Eco Wool. I have knit many a sweater. Will continue to knit many a sweater out of this yarn. I love it so much. It wears so well. Some of my favorite, absolute favorite sweaters are knit out of this yarn. I'm excited. I'm very excited. And so this is just like a beautiful mushroomy taupey color. There's a dog barking. Our neighbors have a very loud dog. So yes, I'm loving this. I just started yesterday, so I have like hardly any progress, but we do love it. I'm glad that I got it started. My mom is making one, and in fact, she is actually coming to visit. She and my dad are coming to visit this coming weekend. And so we will get to knit on this, and I will be able to give her her yarn because it all got shipped to me, because mail can be complicated and shipping can be complicated, especially when you live on a mountain, which is very understandable. So I have all of the yarn. I will be able to give it to her. She will be able to cast on, and we will be able to knit together. And I am so excited. I am so excited, everybody. So yes, that's the Diamond Jumper by Anne Wenzel. Would highly recommend you checking out her Instagram. It is like, if you're looking for some woolly feels of all the warm jumpers and sweaters and cardigans and all that jazz, like, her feed is just wonderful. So, would highly recommend. And I think that's all that I have, you know. I think that is all that I have. That's all we're going to talk about. That's all I got done this past week, which was still quite a bit. It wasn't as much as I had hoped or planned for, but that's okay. It was still quite a lot. and we will be happy with anything, because ultimately, if it brings me joy, that is all that really matters. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, for listening to me rant and ramble and talk about the weather a lot. Be in this new location. You know, there's someone walking up the stairs outside and they're being very loud. I don't even know. I hope you enjoyed this new location. Depending on the weather next week. Actually, you know what? I don't even know. Because of my parents coming to visit, I will switch up my recording schedule. Hopefully that will not make anything different for you, the viewer, but we will make adjustments to make it work. But I have no doubt that it will work. But anyway, I feel like the past several weeks there have been storms when I record, which I love. But as I've said before, if it's hot outside, it makes me a little anxious. I'm not gonna lie, it does not feel good, but it cannot be helped. It literally cannot be helped. And honestly, it is, having grown up in Oklahoma, where tornadoes are much more prevalent than they are in Houston, I'm grateful that there are not nearly as many tornadoes here, if any at all. So, how did we get on this topic? Oh, it storms when I record now, apparently. And in the summer, like, this is just a thing that happens. Anyway, I have social medias where I don't talk about the weather as much, but I still do. I still do occasionally. So if you're interested in that, don't always talk about the weather. I also share cute pictures of my cat and things I'm knitting on, all the test knits. So Instagram is the place to be if you would like to see any of those things. I also have random things such as Goodreads. I've been reading a lot. I don't necessarily talk about it here as much, just because I don't really know how to talk about books a ton. But if you have any interest what am I trying to say? If you have any interest in what I'm reading, you can be my friend or follow me on Goodreads. That would be wonderful. Show notes, yarn store information, the Pearly Girls shop anniversary next week, whole week, more than a week, starts on Thursday. So when you're watching this, it'll start tomorrow, which is very exciting, and will go until the 28th, which is very wonderful. Lots of fun stuff will be had. Cookies, trunk show, discounts, door prizes, lots of fun things. So definitely, like, be aware that it is happening. Follow Pearly Girls on Instagram to stay up to date if you were interested. So what else is there to say? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I hope you continue to have a wonderful week. What even is this? How could I forget that? If you have crafty plans, I hope they're successful. I have lots of crafty plans. Need to finish the Wild Joy sweater, knit that sleeve and that neckline. Continue to make progress on the Jensen cardigan. Not freak out about the weather. I also need to take pictures of my wild poppy sweater. What else do I need to do? I don't even know. I know I need to do those things, and probably other things as well, but those are the things that are, like, right on my mind in this moment. Oh, continue on the diamond jumper. How can I forget that? I literally just talked about it. We're starting to slow down. I'm getting tired. Okay. We need to end this podcast. It's kind of starting to fall apart. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being here with me, for hanging out, for listening to me. I hope I made you laugh. I hope you got to have a little downtime if you needed it. I hope you got some good crafting done. Maybe all your laundry is folded at this point. You are wonderful. You are enough. Thank you always for coming back, for commenting, liking, subscribing, all that jazz. It really does mean a lot. I don't always reply. I try my best, but I don't always reply. But do know that I see every single comment. I see all those comments, all those likes on Instagram. I do see them, and I really appreciate it. So that is all that I have. I don't know what the length of this episode is because I had to chop it in half while recording so I could make sure that my husband was safe because of the weather, which he is, and he made it safely to his destination. So that's all that really matters. But I just don't know how long this episode will be. So I apologize if it's shorter than normal. If it's the same amount of length that it normally is, that is also wonderful. What am I even saying anymore? I'll just say goodbye because I don't really know what else to say. And I feel like I'm just talking in circles. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!